Hello, my name's Alex. I'm British, but I've been living abroad since 2013. Currently, I live in Russia. Thank you for watching my channel. On here, I'm going to be telling stories about things that have happened to me or are happening to me while I've been living abroad. I was going to start this channel chronologically, but because of everything that's happening in the world right now with the coronavirus, I've decided to start with um, what it's like to live abroad during the coronavirus. So like many major cities around the world at the moment, Moscow is under a lockdown, and we're currently on day 10 of that lockdown, in fact. So that basically means you shouldn't leave your apartment except for a limited number of circumstances which the government have outlined. So you can obviously go to the local supermarket, go to the local pharmacy. You're also allowed to access emergency medical treatment. You're allowed to walk your pet, but it needs to be, I think, within 100 meters of the building. And you're allowed to dispose of rubbish as well. If you don't comply with this, there are fines, which is, I believe it's 4,000 rubles for the first time, which is, I think it's around about £50, maybe a bit more than £50 now. For a second offence, it was 5,000 rubles, so a little bit more expensive. If you go to the supermarket, you see next to the checkouts that they actually have tape on the floor in order to enforce the social distancing idea, so that people stay at least 1.5 meters away from each other. In some parts of Russia, I've heard that they've done things like banned alcohol. Fortunately, that's not something they've done in Moscow, and I hope that they don't. Before the lockdown came into effect, they actually closed all the borders, so it's very difficult to get in or out of Russia at the moment. Although I do know that some flights have still been happening. There was a flight yesterday from Moscow to New York, which was primarily to get some Americans out of here. Yes, I am still working. So initially, instead of calling for a lockdown, the government originally announced that there would be a holiday for everybody in Russia for a week. And basically, all of the companies were supposed to give their employees time off and continue paying them. But of course, for most small to medium businesses, that's just not reality. Um, and the government have announced some help, but it seems that it's geared more towards the bigger employers. So for a lot of small to medium businesses, people are still working here. So I'm trying to do all of my classes online. I'm trying to manage and support teachers online as well. It's definitely a challenge. I don't know. I don't know if I've heard this, um, but I don't see how it actually benefits Russia or anybody to be lying right now about the number of cases that they have. I think it's more a case of testing. Obviously, there's always going to be more cases than have actually been confirmed. Um, but the thing is, I actually don't know anybody here in the UK or anywhere else in the world personally that's actually had coronavirus. So to me, all of the figures just seem a little bit surreal right now. About the virus itself, I'm not worried. As I say, I don't know anybody personally who's been confirmed as having had coronavirus. There are people that I worry might get it because they are high risk, but I think they're doing the necessary things to not get it in the first place. What does worry me is the economic situation that this has caused, not just in Russia but globally. I do have a lot of hope because throughout history humanity has innovated when we've needed to. But I do think that what's been happening for the last few months is likely to change the way that we live in the future. And I guess what I'm really worried about is how I fit into that future. And I think anybody who's not actually working at the moment should probably be thinking about that. I do. I haven't bought an excessive amount. There's still plenty of toilet paper in the supermarkets. But I'll tell you what, if anybody subscribes to my channel, I'll send you 1 sheet of toilet paper. How's that? So thank you for watching my video. If you found it interesting, please do like and subscribe. I'll try and put up a new video every week. If you didn't, well, fair enough. That's okay. But either way, stay safe and see you soon.